Hello, all you wonderful furs turning in tonight. I'm Ryan Eastman, and I'd like to welcome you back to the FBA. After the long off-season, Sportsden is back, bringing you the Draftee Challenge games for the 2017-2018 season. Joining me in the booth tonight for the first game is Chris Whalen. Thanks for joining me, and how are you doing tonight?
It's my pleasure, Ryan, and I'm doing great. I'm looking forward to seeing what the new class of draftees has to offer.
Right, anyone you're keeping an eye on so far?
Well, I'm looking at Niran Penichekul. I'm going to butcher all these names tonight, so I apologize.
It's okay.
Uh, One of the only centers here in this draft class. It'll be interesting to see how he performs uh, in the game tonight.
You're right. This is one of the draft classes. You could look at it ways, either full of small forward talent or devoid of any big furs. Um, I'm hoping for the former, that we see a lot of these small forwards come out and really dominate. Speaking of small forwards, I'm actually keeping my eye on Jalen Rose and how he deals with the pressure of coming into this game being considered the top rated rookie of this draft. He's going to have a lot of pressure on him, and GMs are going to be looking to see how he performs here tonight and whether or not he can handle that pressure as it moves into the NBA. Uh,
That's true. I mean, some of these GMs and coaches have seen them at the rookie combine, but this will be kind of the first real chance that they'll get a good look at them in a more professional setting.
right, and mixing with players that they have very little experience with is going to be very important looking at the first season that they're on a new team. Players need to be able to adapt quickly. You'll move across teams and new teammates will be brought in all the time. So if you can't meld with your fellow rookies, how are you expected to meld with the veterans? Actually, looks like the players are getting ready to head to the court. Let's switch over to them as they get ready for tip off. And it looks like the elites are going to be the first ones to get the ball to start with, giving it up to Kealoha, one of the only other big furs in the top 24 in this draft. Rose on the perimeter, not going to do much. Dangerous pass intercepted. Delgado, fast break opportunity, going to lay it up and in for the first basket for the Stars tonight. Nice quick pause, active down there in the defense, able to intercept that pass. Rose over to Malmquist, back to Kealoha, over to Kusek. Again, back to Malmquist. A lot of passing going on, but the shot clock is starting to wind down. And Rose is going to be the one to take the three. No good. Not very clean possessions so far for the Elites tonight. What do you think, Waylon?
Yeah, I mean, you really got to start out strong, especially in a game so important as this. It's really kind of interesting to see uh, how these teams are kind of feeling each other out at the moment.
Yeah, and we see a quick play coming out from the Elites after that miss. Early in the shot clock, tried to go for a fast break. No good. Delgado going to bring it up for the Stars. And actually going to see a foul on uh, Milquest reaching in. I guess another thing that's kind of an intangible stat that GMs look at is how players foul and when they choose to go for those dangerous plays that might lead to a foul. Foul trouble is very troublesome to a coach having to adjust the rotation. And no good on the shot there from Delgado.
And you got to remember, these players are used to playing at a different caliber, so a lot of them will have to adjust to the FBA standards of play, as opposed to maybe some things that they might be able to get away with in college ball.
Right, and especially who they're going against. They're going to be faster, bigger, and no good on the long ball there. BK with the rebound. Like I said, they're going to be the level of talent and the level of physicality is going to increase, and refs definitely, I don't want to say more professional, but they have higher standards in the FBA.
Yeah, they're not going to have any mercy for a rookie, even even in their first couple of games. So
A nice little play there actually ends the scoring drought for the Elites. Quick heads-up play to pass down to the driving Fur. Tavares on the perimeter, calling a play, gives it to Penichkul. Over to Thompson, back to Penichkul. Center with the ball, 5 seconds left, has to give up to Tavares, who dishes down low to Thompson. 15-footer is no good, though. Both teams struggling early here after 2 minutes. Only 4 points on the board combined between the two teams.
Very, very low scoring game.
As we say that, foul coming out. Chance for 2 free throws at the line for Rose. And it'll also be interesting, maybe not so much in this game, but the next game, how players deal with playing at positions they're not used to. Rose, listed as a small forward, is having to stand in at power forward due to that low volume of big first in this class. Definitely has the body for it at 6'11", but maybe not a spot he's used to being in.
He's going to make those 2 free throws there.
Yeah, doubling their score. It only took them 3 minutes after that first basket. Tavares on the key. Looks like he's trying to draw up some kind of play. Gives it to BK. BK dishes back to Panucci. Delgado was in the post. Decided not to do anything with it, though. 4 seconds, and we have a triangle going on of passing here. Someone needs to decide to shoot, and finally, it's the center taking the long ball. It gets to the fall, ties it back up at 4 apiece.
Looks like a lot of these players are really nervous on the court. Not a lot of risks being taken here in the first quarter.
Yeah, so far, especially when you see these passes. I mean, we're seeing a drawn play out here, and we see an interception because of that screen. Delgado, 3-on-1 fast break, dishing over to Thompson, who lays it up and in. And, I mean, that's, I guess, one of the big concerns that these players are afraid of is making mistakes that lead to turnovers like that. That does not look good on the highlight reel. But neither does constantly passing the ball and not doing anything. Even though we have a Kusek layup there coming in off the assist from Rose.
Well, and it comes down to what these GMs are looking for. Are they looking for a player who's going to take those chances, or are they going to look for someone who's going to take the chance only when they're assured of, guaranteeing a shot?
Ryan Thompson. Nice open 3 there. Came out from the post to take that shot, but it worked out. 9-6. Finally, the scoring is picking up in this second half of the first quarter. Kusek, another give and go. Fouled hard by Penichkul. Second foul. May see him actually sat down, even though it's a rookie game. Talk about foul trouble.
He just wanted to even up the score, that's all.
Close. So we down by 1, even if... Yeah, and actually they are going to step out Penichkul and bring in Varnegi, the other center of the top 24. Delgado dishing over to Tavares. Back to Thompson. Showed she can shoot from three-point land. See if they go back to her later. BK stuck on the perimeter. He normally likes to get into the post, but we see Delgado actually being the one to take the shot there. Malmqvist getting up to Kealoha. Gets inside his defender. Gets the shooter's bounce off the back of the iron and still falls in, keeping the Elites up by 1. BK calling for an isolation.
Yeah, Berger is one of those more cautious players I was talking about earlier. He, looking at his performance in the combine, he doesn't take a lot of risks.
All right, and I mean, consistency is something that GMs look for. Some do want explosive power, like we see Varnegi there fighting through the foul and getting the and 1 to fall, putting the Stars up by 2. But at the same time, some of that explosiveness can come to bite you in the butt.
Well, I think you're looking for that dependability in a defender, and someone who's a little more aggressive in on the offense.
Yeah, and it actually looks like someone forgot it wasn't soccer and kicked the ball, so had a kick ball violation. Kusek off the screen, nice little shot there, just dribbles in, tying it back up. Kusek showing off his scoring off the screen. That's his third or fourth basket, I think. I think it's 3, actually. 2 layups in that mid-range shot there. Carnegie giving it back to Tavares. Back to Delgado. Again, we're having this three-man passing circle. Someone take the shot. It's left to Delgado. Cruel decision by his teammates to keep passing even with 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
I don't know if they're like trying to be polite to let each other shine, but it's just not working.
Yeah, like there's this kind of passing where Kealoha was in the post and he just couldn't make the shot, and then there's 3 people on the perimeter saying, "No, you shoot it. No, you shoot it."
It's like a Three Stooges skit.
And that's what it is, and unfortunately, it's a bad game of hot potato because it's about to explode, and just seeing, hopefully these players can come together and actually put some plays, because standing on the perimeter for 20 seconds passing is not going to work. And we see Nagoy, big slam dunk, getting by the defender with a nice little crossover first, forcing the Stars to call a timeout after that.
Better enjoy it while it lasts. He's not going to be able to do that for a little while.
And the Stars are going to come back in with some substitutions. Blessing in now. The Horseshoe Crab playing at point guard now, giving Delgado a little break. Intercepted. Tried to pass it down low to the post. Has a chance for a fast break, but the defense for the Stars is able to stop him cold in his tracks. And intercepted, actually. Not sure who it's going to be called. I think this Elite will retain possession, actually. A couple turnovers so far this game, mostly on the Stars, but the Elites have to be careful. Stars have been getting their paws on the ball a few times. We see Gold in off the bench. No good on the shot. Is there anyone on the bench for both teams you're keeping an eye on going into next game as they start the second game in about an hour or so?
Well, I'm really interested in seeing what Leon Delmont is going to have to offer. I think he was rated early on as a third or fourth player in the group.
I agree. The next game will have Leon Delmont and JC Gold both rounding out the top 5 in terms of preliminary rankings. And we're going to see the Stars hitting a long 2, another half foot back, and it would have been a 3-pointer to give them the lead. As I was saying, it'll be interesting to see how those two play. They're not matched up against each other, obviously, but they are on separate teams. And those around them, how they can play, because it's not just on one player. As we see another turnover from the Elites this time. The Stars, chance to gain the league. Aquino, 12 feet out from the side. Ball looked like it was going to go in. Went around the world twice, but then decided to cancel its trip and go home. Rose back to O'Hara. O'Hara over to Kealoha. Ooh. Gold for 3. Gets it off the back iron. I believe that's the first actual 3-pointer tonight. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think so.
I know Delgado has taken a few attempts, but have missed his. It's actually something that'll be interesting to see how these 3-pointers develop. I believe Kusik was one of the better 3-point shooters in the combine. We see a nice. That's the best way to throw passes around. They passed it around, spread the defense thin, left an open lane from the drive to the basket, and then gave it to him. That is passing with purpose. And then Rose just bullies his way into the post and answers back with 2 of his own. One was very finesse, and then Rose's brute force. 2 completely different play styles there at display.
Well, that's the important of these games is you really get to see how the player's choice of style really affects their playing in kind of a little more relaxed setting.
Well, you say relaxed, but there's a couple million people possibly watching this, including their future bosses. So, if anything, this is probably the most pressure they've felt in a while. I don't think any of these players have played in a stadium this large quite. And actually, we saw Blessing tying the score up at 19 apiece with a nice three of her own, but we see Sievert giving the Elites a score again. Elites unwilling to let the lead slip out of their grasp. Blessing clearing the post, looking like wants to do an isolation play. Aquino defended close by Gold. Ends up in Tavares. 2 seconds left. It's going to be Carlos from pretty far range, but gets the shooter's bounce. Both teams have picked up their offense, considering only 2 buckets remain the first 2 minutes of the game. Score is gone up by 10, and we see Gold sneaking in, backdoor pass from Rose. I think that's his second or third assist tonight. Or sorry, Tavares, I believe that was on the assist.
I hope not. Tavares is
Yeah,
almost
no, I'm too many new players to keep track of. This game is turning into a fast-paced shootout. It was Rose. Okay, I'm not losing my mind. It was the Dragon. Again, another quick pass. Gold again, unable to get the ball to fall this time. The defense was a little bit more active down low in the post, getting between him and the basket. Reyes getting Varnege open. Could have taken a 3 there, but that's a little outside his range. Again, we have this passing. Time's running out. Tavares is going to be the one to take the 3.
No good.
And at this point, the shot clock is all but turned off. Less than a second separating the two of them. Elites will likely have the last shot, unless Gold just drives it in, but blocked. Sent back, and now the Stars have a chance on a 3-on-2 fast break. Decide to slow it down, though, and give themselves the final shot. Reyes to Varnege for 3. No good, and that's the end of the first quarter. Any takeaways so far you have tonight between these two teams?
It's kind of interesting because I don't think they even really kind of have an idea of how to gel as a brand new team for both sides. Although the Elites are doing a little better at that moment. I think part of the problem is that everyone knows that in a month or two they're all going to be spread around the league, and there might be some hesitation going into this game, knowing that the people that are your teammates now will be your rivals possibly in a month or two.
Yeah, and we saw the Stars tied up Panuchke on the first basket, and we can see Elsinore, Gary, the Crown Lemur fouled on the way up, going to the line for 2. I definitely agree that I think the issue is that throwing these teams together, players together, they're not going to gel well on a big stage like this, especially with the amount of pressure on them. Any mistake is going to be looked at 100 times, and we see some timidness, like you said, on the perimeter. We have a bunch of guys just standing there passing, not willing to be the one to take the shot sometimes, and that is its own negative at times. Teams want confident players. Gabor unable to get the basket to fall as they drove to the basket. Delmont, quick pass to Blevins, steps into the shot, gets it to bounce in, giving the Elites a 3-point lead again. Varnege over to Panuchke. Fouled. They're going to call it a shooting foul, even though not so sure about that, considering the ball never really made it higher than his waist. And good on both of them. Free throw shooting has been accurate from both teams so far tonight.
Well, it's the one almost guaranteed shot.
Well, you say that, and then you have players who shoot 50% from the field, from the free throw line. So
yeah,
Gary.
Well,
speaking of which, we'll see Gary go back there. Well, I mean, that has become the modern. If you look at basketball and the average, the free throw percentage has definitely climbed in the past 2 decades, as it has become almost a mandatory thing that you can shoot that.
Well, especially looking at some of the shooting results from the combine, a lot of these players were in the top third of those results, and most of the shots made were at that free throw line. um, you're not going to see much difference in a situation like this, especially since they're doing the shooting drills here in Tallahassee. They've gotten a good feel for this particular court.
Right, and we saw another late shot from Delgado, forced into it again, last time a few feet beyond the three-point line, and no good from Orshot. The Bunny unable to convert the basket from long range, and Delgado open this time for three. Not a bad shot on his part, considering how open he was. His defender was nowhere to be found, lost him in the shuffle. Again,
Delgado's shooting like he has something to prove.
Well, when he's open, yes. When he's being left with 0.5 seconds to take the shot, I think it's more of desperation at that point. Like, please don't give me this ball again with half a second to decide if I want to shoot. That time, not a bad shot selection, just couldn't get it to fall.
I don't think he's landed a 3-point yet.
He hasn't. And Delmont will go to the line for two off of that foul. The Stars need to watch their fouling. That's their third or fourth one so far. We know Panichkol has 2 fouls already. Can't afford to give up a third or a fourth yet. Speaking of which, Triano, good heads-up play to drive to the lane as Panichkol had distracted the defense posting up. Left a nice open lane for an easy dump-off layup.
The Stars are feeling a little more comfortable and, on the court, especially here in the second quarter. They seem to be a little more relaxed.
No doubt, especially when they're getting that presence in the post. Like we see here again, driving into the lane, rebounded and slammed back down. The putback points, that is high percentage when you're that close to the basket and you're able to put it back as you jump. Surrounded by defense, Delmont gets the ball passed out to the three-point line, gets it to fall, keeps the Elites up by 4 for now. But the Stars have begun to find their rhythm down low in the post. We're going to see Herod stepping in, double-teamed. Doesn't matter. Wants to decide if it wanted to fall or not, but still falls. That's 3 straight baskets from inside the paint for the Stars. The Elites may need to call timeout. They are giving up post points consistently now. They can't afford to hemorrhage points like that. And that might be a strategy shift from the Stars, switching to a post play, and then Delmont going for the shot, no good. And that's the 3rd personal foul on Kealoha. Likely going to see him sat, and yes, we're going to see both teams actually substituting. What do you think about the Stars' gameplay change since the start of the second quarter?
Well, obviously, it's working for them. They tried kind of working out around the 3-point line. That was clearly not working for anyone. And now that as they're getting into the paint and shooting from there, I think that's a much better strategy. And the Elites don't seem to figure out how to adjust from that change in strategy.
And while we were saying that, some fast-paced action started to take place, but BK gets contact from Kealoha. His 4th personal foul. He misses his first free throw. Kealoha will be sat down in the second quarter. Can't afford to foul out in this game. It's just going to limit the number of minutes that your potential GM can watch you play. Hopefully we'll see him back in the third quarter playing a bit smarter from the post. And that is something new for these players that in college, 5 fouls, you're out. They do get 1 more foul at this level, but they do play for longer, an extra 8 minutes. So, got to be careful. See Kusic, high arching ball, no good, but Tavares, long arms, able to get that offensive rebound, and the shot clock restarts. Kusic over to Orshot. Bunny debating what to do on the perimeter. Ends up passing it off. Has it in his paws. 3 seconds left. Kusik going to go for the long ball. No good off the rim. And BK going to bring it up.
There's a lot of foreign talent coming in to this new draft class. I wonder how it's going to affect their playing now that they're here in America.
No doubt, some of the rules, regulations, style of play is all very different. You see a lot more high post Euro step action in Europe compared to the FBA. And we see Kusek toss the ball a little too high there, out of bounds. Turnover, unfortunately. But yeah, the style of play is definitely different with how players are built.
I mentioned because you could see just in that last play or shot, looking around, going, I don't know what to do now. Just kind of looking to his teammates.
Yeah, and you also have to wonder, some of the players coming overseas, how well their English is compared to their native language.
Exactly.
I mean, basketball, yes, is a sport of... you don't have to communicate necessarily in the sport, but there is just knowing how your players are going to play. Like Nagoy driving to the paint there, but can't hit the shot. Too much power behind it. BK, another rebound. I think that's his 4th one so far tonight. He tries to pass it to the post with a bullet, but intercepted. But they get the ball back. I believe that was Delgado receiving it. And quick play, Herod, pump fake, gives out to Thompson. Thompson, no good. Herod, offensive rebound, putting it back. That's another second chance opportunity for the Stars, and they have the lead 36-33. Close game so far with 5 minutes and 6 seconds left in the second quarter. Stars definitely getting far more shots from the paint to work than from the perimeter right now.
Well, once you find a strategy and it works for you, you just got to stick with it. I'm surprised that the elites aren't adjusting their strategy in kind, but
well,
I think they might be focusing more on scoring than defending at the moment.
Well, it's that, and it's not one player from the elites now putting the ball in the basket from that close a range. You saw Herod, you saw their center Panuchkel. A lot of players have started to score from down low. I mean, we're going to see Blessing bringing the ball up the court now. Tavares, and that also is part of the problem is the elites have had a scoring drought for the last 4 minutes. Pinichkul has the height advantage over Gold, but it's going to be a 3-point attempt. No good. Trying to go for a dagger. Stab the elites in the heart, but they failed to connect. Stays a 3-point game as Josh has the ball in the perimeter. Giving over to Kusik. Passing it around to everyone. Looks like someone wanted to pass, but Kusik gets by his defender and slams it in. Throwing it down with some authority.
Well, that's another thing that some of the players here are starting to take advantage of. Just kind of because these players aren't used to playing in this sort of setting, some of the more keen players are passing while their defenders are looking the other way.
Right, and we're going to see another shot clock. Down to the wire, but Tavares, under pressure of the shot clock, still gets it to fall. Malmqvist going to bring it up for the elites. Kusek has proven his range from all areas, but we see almost a turnover. Gold gets the rebound off of the back of a Stars player. Stars player almost had a steal without realizing it. Josh Sievert, pass down low in the paint, turns around and just lays it up and in. High percentage shot if he's able to avoid the defender like he was. You see Blessing now trying to go to the post. Again, both teams have suddenly decided to play switcheroo on their style. Both started from the mid to 3-point range, and now in the second quarter they've said, okay, it's time to play from the post. Kusek from the free throw line. Again, both quarters have started off slow, and then the final 6 minutes have really picked up pace.
I think the elites were like, hey, it's working for the Stars. We should try that out too. And, it's been a much quicker back and forth.
And the foul, again, Gold on Panuchkal with the opportunity for an and one. I mean, you're definitely right. Both teams are struggling right now to guard the post. Perhaps it is that, but this draft class has more offensive-minded players in the top 24 this year than defensive-minded. Maybe not going to see a DQ-esque style player this season. Kusic.
Well, you never know what's going to be lurking in the draft. I mean, we're only looking at kind of
We're looking at a third of what we consider the best players, but there, like you said, there's a bunch of on the cusp and second rounders who may have gone under the radar. Panuchkul, second slam dunk of the night, getting by his defender and just slamming it in. Largest lead for the Stars now at 6. Except Kusic going to answer back with a layup of his own. Great pass down low into the post by Rose.
Well, one thing a lot of these scouts are looking for are big scorers, and I think that players who have other strengths are sometimes considered, but not as quickly or as kind of higher up as these big scorers, and I think that's why we're seeing a lot of fast, quick plays here.
You're right, and Aquino was able to get the basket on the Stars, and now the turnover and Blessing has all day. Defenders taking a nap, I guess, but decides not to take the three. I guess did not feel comfortable taking that kind of shot from the corner. Even though I don't think anyone could fault her at that point if the Crab wanted to take a shot. The horseshoe. No good, though. O'Hara. Game it to Kusic. 20 seconds on the shot clock, 35 on the game clock. Fast shot here is no good. However, it does mean the Elites will have the last possession of the game as 3 seconds separate shot clock and game clock. And Carlos, ball was almost stolen from him, but he manages to catch it off the tip and lay it up and in before the defender can react. 8-point lead now. Again, largest lead, continuing to extend for the Stars. Kusic might be the last one to take the shot with 9 seconds left in the second quarter. Spin move. And the post dishes out to O'Hara from the corner for 3. No good, though. With that, the second quarter will come to a close. 49 Stars, 41 Elites. And we will head into the studio real fast and do a quick list off of the box scores for both teams. As you can see, the Stars have been lighting it up from field goal range, as well as creating the turnovers with 5 steals compared to 2 from the Elites. Now, looking at the individual player stats, we will go ahead and start with the Stars. Tavares, 2 points, 1 rebound, 50% from the field. Panuchkul leading the team with 11 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals, perfect from the field. Delgado struggling from the 3-point line, 0 for 6, however 2 for 9, 2 for 3 elsewhere. 4 points, 2 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. BK, 1 point coming from the free throw line, 4 rebounds so far, 2 assists, and a turnover. Thompson, that 1 big 3, but has missed 6 shots so far, 2 for 8. And then Varnegi, 3 points, 2 rebounds, a steal, and a block, doing a bit of everything. However, 1 for 4 from the field.
Yeah, you've got Delgado and Thompson trying to make all the shots here, it looks like, but they're taking a little bit of a risk, and it's not paying off.
Yeah, but then you look at the bench, where Blessing, 5 points, perfect from the field, 2 rebounds and assist. Reyes, perfect from the floor, 4 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists. Aquino, 3 for 6, okay, taking a lot of shots, but 50% field goal, 6 points, a steal, and an assist. Harrod, perfect from the floor, 6 points, 2 rebounds. Kibor has missed the 2 shots, and Triano has made the 1 shot, taken 2 points, 1 rebound. The bench is actually shooting above 75% field goal. But then you hop over to the Elites. Kealoha, 2 points, 3 rebounds, 4 fouls already, though. Rose doing everything, on track for a triple-double possibly. 4 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, but 3 turnovers. A lot of unforced errors. Kusic, 12 points, 5 of 9 shooting, a rebound, 2 assists, but also, again, 2 turnovers. Nagoy, 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal, 1 for 3 from the field. Malmqvist, 2 points, 2 assists, 1 for 4. Gold, 5 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. A lot better spread of shooting, but not as good a field goal percentage. Sievert, 4 points, a rebound, and an assist. O'Hara, 1 rebound or shot, 1 rebound, 1 assist, missed his 1 shot. Delmont, 5 points, 1 assist, 1 for 3, all of them being 3-point attempts. Blevins, 2 points, 1 for 2 from the field. And then Elsinore, 3 points, however, all of them coming from the free throw line, getting to the line multiple times, actually responsible for the foul trouble that the other team finds themselves in. Only one really getting to the line for the elites. And with that, we'll start the third quarter, second half. My big takeaway from looking at the box scores is the Stars need to use their bench a lot more. They've been very active on the scoreboard. What do you think?
Well, it makes me curious as to how the second games could play out if the bench on the Stars is this strong. What's going to happen when they switch places and the bench is going to actually be starting.
Yeah, and Delgado trying to go a 3 a little bit. It was an open shot, just missed it. And we see Rose now in the post. Getting fouled on the way up. Chance for 2 from the line. Crowd not happy to have the play stopped due to a foul. They definitely want to see high-flying action. They want to see more dunks. We've already seen 4 tonight. They want to see that number go up. Sadly, we don't have a coffee husky amongst the rookies dunking every other shot.
Well, the Stars have to be careful here. If they keep doing that, they're going to lose their 8-point lead coming in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, it's super early, but as long as if their bench can keep shooting the way they've been shooting, then they have no worries. It's when they stop making their shots that they have to make sure their starters are taking smart shots. Delgado's taken a couple threes that have been questionable, but also have been forced to because of the shot clock. But we haven't seen many drawn up plays. Like right there, he could have gone to the lane, but decided to stop. And now 8 seconds on the shot clock, and you have no one ready to take a shot. It's going around Penuchkel. Tavares, 2-point attempt, long range, no good with under a second to go on the shot clock.
Well, you mentioned earlier that there's no real DQ in this group. I think Berger Kane is probably the closest. He's definitely more comfortable on defense than on offense, and I think that's why we saw him hesitate there. He really could have gone in and taken that shot, but he decided to pass it off instead.
And we saw Gold lay it up and in on a high arcing teardrop. And Penuchkel, the one player for the Stars that can make a difference down the post. I mean, definitely right. In this kind of game, when you have a player who's a defensive-minded guy or gal, you really don't get to shine all that much outside of making your opponent look silly. Malmqvist loses the ball but gets it back, puts up the shot but no good. We're going to see a fast break. Delgado one-on-one. Gets the foul on the way up. Can't get the shot to fall. I know he wishes he did, but he still has a chance to earn some points at the line.
It's going to be Kuzik's first.
Yeah, at this point, the only player I have serious foul concerns about is Kealoha with his 4th foul, and it's still the 3rd quarter. We don't see it every game, but fouling out in an FBA game is not unheard of.
No, especially with more of the vocal players.
Yeah, more emotional, more likely to foul a little harder to stop the ball. I mean, there's definitely a time and place for a hard foul, and GMs do look at tape and they'll see the effort that goes behind, like when you decide to foul and how hard you fouled to prevent the shot from being made. I mean, DQ can say he's been slapped a lot of times trying to get him to stop shooting. We saw Malkovich actually do a quick layup to the basket there. 4-point difference. Elite's down by 447 to 51. We see a long 3 attempt early in the shot clock from the Stars. Maybe trying to catch the defense asleep there, but it didn't work out in their favor. Thompson down 2-9, field goal. We see Rose fight his way into the post and get a high-arching arc shot off the backboard to fall. Closes it to a one-possession game. If the Stars fail to convert here, we might see the Elites tie it up next possession. Passing around again, 6 seconds. Someone needs to step up and take the shot. It might be Delgado. Again, no good. I mean, you have to give it his credit. He's willing to take the shot even though he's struggling right now.
But he's like the only one on the Stars willing to do that.
I mean, yeah, he took that one a little early in the shot clock, but that might just be some frustration coming through. Because
do you blame him?
No, I mean, I don't blame him at this point because, I mean, we'll count the number of passes next possession and see how many there are. Because I'm pretty sure every player touches the ball at least twice. Rose, under the basket layup, gets it to fall and tied up. Let's count everyone. How many passes? 1. Calls for a screen. Calls for another screen. 2, 3. 9 seconds left. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 shots, and BK is the last one to take it. That ball did not bounce for the last 12 seconds. That is the problem right there, folks.
They're passing it to BK with those giant mitts.
Well, at the 3-point line, it's literally a game of hot potato, it seems. You had 9 seconds to make a move, and the move was pass the ball 10 times.
Almost 15 times.
Yeah, well, no, they got like 4. They got 4 passes done in the first 15 seconds, and then they decided to do 10 in the last 9. It's like, come on. Like, I appreciate passing to the open fur, but there's a difference between passing to the open fur and finding a target and throwing it, because I think any player smart enough to know his teammate would know that BK does not shoot the 3.
Well, a lot of these, yeah, exactly. But a lot of these players are used to having a very specific role in their games, and I think this is kind of an eye opener for all of them to see that they're going to be expected to challenge those roles that they've created for themselves in high school and in college.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they're going to be expected to take up roles they may not be used to. And we saw 50% from the free throw line there, missing 1, Malkovich. Triano passing over to Delgado. Varnegi. There we go. Showing some initiative, driving to the lane and the foul. Chance for an and 1 here. See, 1 substitution for the Elites. Bringing Delmon in for Malmquist and Varnegi. If he can get this back to a 2-possession game. Rattles around, but does. 54-52. A little under 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Delmont over to Rose. Rose back to Delmont. Delmont decided to just shoot it straight up from inside the paint. Continuing the run of the Elites. 13-5 in the last 4 minutes. I'd call a timeout here if I was the Stars. But then again, these coaches are not necessarily looking to win. They're looking to show off their players. Which Varnegi almost does there, nearly making that jumper from 15 feet out.
It'll be interesting to see how this game compares to the rookie challenge in 6 months during All-Star Week, to see if these same players are playing a little differently against each other.
Well, what I'm going to be interested in is seeing which of these top 24 players aren't there Obviously, only 24 players make the rookie challenge game, and it is very common that second rounders dethrone some of these so-called best players of the draft. And also the situations they find themselves in. Some of these players, even though they're top 24, may find themselves sitting third string for their position.
That's very true. And then of course you have the crowd element that some of the players that aren't necessarily in this game may be more popular than some of these other players. And while I don't particularly like that element per se, it definitely is something that affects that.
I mean, decision. The fans are in the end what pays our paycheck. So
that is true. That's absolutely true. But
you see Delgado, another 3 attempt, no good. Delgado is more of a defensive player, so it's interesting to see if he's able to slow down on the other end, but he's being forced to be an offensive player this game as well, a role he's maybe not used to. Delmont, past 7 feet out, another medium range shot coming out from the mound line. 16-7 run. Herod keeping the score close, though. Stars up, down by 1 only. Rose over to Blevins, back to Delmont, back to Elsinore. The Crown Lemur setting up a play. Rose, the Elsinore, that's the play he wanted, a give and go. As soon as he passed the ball, he made a break for the basket and was open as his defender was asleep. Triano passing over to Herod on the perimeter. Trying to get something going. Had the post to work with last possession, but this time being left on the perimeter. Who's going to get it? Another round of passing, and it's going to be Herod, and no good. I really don't want to have to count again how many passes, but I feel like I need to if they're going to keep doing this kind of...
Well, and then the guy at the top of the arc ends up, or gal, ends up having to throw the ball away.
Yeah. I mean,
it's got to be frustrating.
I feel like they're playing the how many times can you get away without dribbling. Let's do that. Next possession, we're going to count how many dribbles are happened as Delgado misses another last-second shot. Really,
2 for 14.
Yeah, and he's really struggling, but at the same time, 8 of those were in the last 3 seconds. Delmont, okay, as soon as they cross the half-court line, we are going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 dribbles, and if I counted correctly, 8 passes. That is not a very active motion of a game, and Elsinore is going to get the layup off the fast break. See, if I was their coach right now, I'd be telling them to move the ball around more. Players are not willing to dribble the ball and make motion. And we see Varnecki getting to the post. That's his 3rd and 1 opportunity and the 5th foul for Kealoha. That is going to be a difficult position as he's going to be subbed out with 4 minutes left. No, he's not. He's going to be kept in the game. Oh, wow. What do you think GMs will say if he fouls out here?
Well, I think it's definitely going to change how they look at him. A lot of these players have a lot of potential, but if you're going to foul out on your first nationally broadcast game, that's going to make GMs a little gun shy to pick you up.
Unless you're Dakota and you're looking for some physical offense or defense. Yeah. We see Delmont making another 3 from the corner this time. It leads up to 5. Their largest lead of the game, I think, so far. And then Aquino, nothing but net, answers back with one of his own. Showing he can shoot from long range, too, just like the Mountain Lion can. Elsinore back to Delmont. Delmont steps away. No good. Keyboard up to Aquino. Aquino may want to take the shot here. seeming to be on fire. Killian has made the last few attempts. Or, no, stop. Dribble. Dribble. Aquino got the shot attempt I wanted after 10 passes where the ball is allergic to the floor. Josh Sievert lays it up and in.
The floor is lava. Didn't you know that?
It seems like the floor is covered in tacks, and if the ball bounces on the Stars' side, it's going to pop it. I mean, okay, that's fine. This is good. You had a screen. You got 2 screens. That's fine. Great play, Kibor. Okay, I wish you had kept it. Come on, Kibor. Aquino from the opposite corner this time. No good. The first half of that play looked great. They had motion. They had screens. And then they devolved back into passing. I don't think there's a leader on this team right now is the problem. Or at least one that people are willing to follow.
Well, it's great to be a team player and all, but you really need someone who's going to take charge.
Aquino, third 3 in a row attempted. No good.
Well, I think that's why we're seeing Delgado kind of just eventually just
decide to shoot.
Yeah. Kind of in that floor general position.
Well, we saw Elsinore charge there, offensive foul, turns the ball over to the Stars, giving them a chance to try and whittle this lead back down a little bit. And you're right. I mean, it may be Delgado's just getting to the point where at times he knows he's going to be past it with 1 second left. He might as well take the shot when he wants to. But we see a ball knocked out of bounds there. I think the Stars will retain possession. And Kealoha still in the game with 5 fouls and 13 minutes and 32 seconds to play. If I was the Stars, I would pressure him to cause a turnover. Or, sorry, cause a foul out. Good on the layup from the Elites. The Elites mixing up where they're shooting from close and long range. It's working well for them so far. Stars still on that scoring drought. They managed to pick it up a little bit there, but after Aquino has been unable to make a 3 in the last couple attempts, they've stalled. Tavares, no good on his 3 attempt.
The Stars seem to be afraid of the paint right now, and I don't really understand why they're staying so outside.
Yeah, they we see another turnover there. That's 2 in a row charging fouls actually against the Elites. Opportunities for the Stars to whittle into this lead, the deficit they have. Penichkol in the post decides to back it out, and they go to the other side.
Oh, I get it. They're making a star with the basketball.
They are at this
It's
point.
their signature move.
Luckily, they're taking it too far. Thankfully, they get a 3 to fall this time before the shot clock had gotten too low. But we're going to see Kealoha get into the post off the pass from Kusik. 5-point lead. Last shot of the game will belong to the Stars. They have to make this basket, in my opinion, to go into the fourth quarter with any kind of momentum. This is the first time we see some dribbling and laying it up and in with 2.7 seconds left, leaving just enough time for Kusik to decide if he wants to throw it up, and he does. But into the stands it goes. No good. The Elites 70, Stars 67. A little bit of a turnaround in momentum there, if I'd say so myself. The Stars finding their stride from all range, but the Elites really struggling from the perimeter and not willing to go into the post anymore, it seems.
You mean the Stars?
Yeah, I'm getting my brain mixed up. The people in blue versus the people in red, yeah, something happens.
Yeah, the Stars are afraid of the post.
It's really going to mess with my mind when the second game comes and some of these players swap jerseys. Now the Elites playing like the Stars, passing the ball without dribbling. Kusek going to take a three, no good. Maybe they've already done that. Delgado. Stripped. Malkovist had a chance to go for a fast break, but in fact the defense was too fast and got back there. Dishes it to Nagoya on the perimeter. Back to Rose. Back to Malkovist. Back to Kusik. Back to this passing game. And it looks like it's going to end up with... I was going to say Hialoa, but it's going to be Malkovist from three-point land and somehow gets nothing but net on the last second shot. The Elites are getting away with it where the Stars have struggled with that last second bullet. Aquino open from three, trying to answer back, no good. So at the moment, for the Elites, who stands out for you?
Well, really, I mean, Kusik obviously is having a really great game. We saw that in the first half and continue to see that here through into the fourth quarter.
No good from Kusik, speaking of him.
I'm just the
bad luck.
The bad luck of the night. Every time I mention a player here, they brick.
Well, Penchkul backing up in the post, fighting through it, but actually called for traveling. His pivot foot lifted off the floor there.
That's a surprise for the Stars, who haven't moved all night.
Yeah, I mean he may have forgotten that you can't. The floor is lob, remember?
Oh yeah,
can't dribble. If I had to pick a player from the Elites, I would actually say Rose. I see a quick pass unload to Milkovich for a layup. Rose has played a more rounded game, not the leading scorer, but I think he's leading in assists and second in rebounds, actually, doing it all, showing he's a multifaceted player. Aquino for three, no good. But Penchkul, offensive rebound, giving it back to BK, all the way over to Tavares. You know who hasn't shot the ball in a while is Delgado. Let's see if he gets left with the ball here at the last second. Punacek fighting, and Delgado actually taking the shot from far out. No good.
It's early for him. Usually it's within 5 seconds.
Yeah, that was 7 seconds, I think, so. May have been predicting that if he passed it, it would end up in his paws again anyways.
Yeah, I mean, and looking at the Stars here, Delgado's definitely trying to take charge, but it's tough on this team. You've got a lot of players who are just not committing to decisions.
Yeah, we see a great dunk, first one in the second half coming from Nagoy, and a foul, obviously. Yeah, for the Stars, the only player that's really impressing me with their actual production is Penchkul, who is 4 for 5. But if he's shooting that well, yes, he's being smart, but I think he needs to be taking more shots, not relying on Delgado to be the one that, okay, if this doesn't look like I can make it, I'll just give it to him and he'll shoot it. Delgado's definitely impressing me in terms of the willingness to keep fighting, even though he's being put in this bad situation of, okay, no one on my team is scoring except one guy and they keep passing it to me. So I have to shoot at 2 seconds left.
Well, you also have to remember that a lot of these players are used to being some of the better players on the court. And now that they're more or less on even footing, I think that might also be contributing to this uncertainty that we've been seeing definitely in the Stars, but a little bit in the Elites as well.
Yeah, we see Aquino again. He's starting to shoot as much as Delgado, except by choice, but he's not making any of him. Kusek with the ball. Passing up to Milquist. Kusek getting by his defender, laying it up and in, driving to the basket and dunking. A 10-0 run in the last 2.5 minutes. The Elites have built this lead to 13 quickly with that drought coming out from the Stars. And they've done it with 2 dunks, in fact, for emphasis. Last second shot, Delgado, top of the perimeter. Again, three-pointer can't fall.
At least we saw them taking their time there and really trying to set up the shot.
And Kusic, left open on the perimeter, could have taken a shot there, but just like waited. Deciding he'd rather pass the ball around like this. Rose, 3 dunks now in this half coming out from the elites, all from different players. Still getting it done from the post. And ooh, bad pass out of bounds, trying to thread the needle to the defender. Actually, it looks like they're going to say the defender touched the ball, so the Stars will retain possession, down by 15. Tavares passing over to Aquino, who steps into his shot this time. That's the way you want to square up into your shot when you take it. First basket from him in a while. Kusic.
Speaking of Rose, one of the first players in the FBA to be able to use the new rule about wings.
Well,
interesting to see here.
the pure restriction of the wings, yes. As long as a certain moth doesn't hear about it, we're fine. He might say he'll just restrain his arms. Milkovist shooting well, quietly, 12 points built up, 5 of 9 shooting. Hasn't been doing it back to back. It's been slow over time. We see Barkany not making the 3-pointer, but not his range really. Still down by 15. Rose. Trying to figure out what he wants to do. Gives over to Kusic. Back to Rose. 1 and 2 passing back and forth between each other and ends up in Monkovist's hands. 3 seconds left. Going to give it to the shooting guard from long range. No good, but Rose. Offensive rebound and the quick putback. No good, but he gets to go to the line for 2 again. Showing off his versatility. That's rebounding, assisting, scoring. He's doing a bit of it all tonight.
I'm surprised to see the elites crawling so far ahead, especially since all night it's really been really close. Now they're up by 15, possibly more after this.
Yeah, it tends to happen when a team ends up not scoring for like 6 minutes. It does not.
You have to score to get points.
I mean, the game, in a nutshell, is putting the ball in the basket. And right now, the Stars have not been doing that. And it's quickly getting out of control for them. They need to stop shooting threes, go back to the post game, even though they need to have people willing to go into the post to have a post game. Delgado, giving to BK. Thompson getting by the defender, laying it up and in, and actually slams it down. That is what I'm talking about. That's a 16-4 run still, though, in the last 5 minutes. That is where the lead has ballooned from. The Stars need to go on their own little run here to equal it back, but Milkovist, another foul, this time on Punichkal. Third foul tonight. Not necessarily at risk of fouling out, but giving free throws at this point is... It's like...
Not what you want to do.
Well, I was going to say, it's like you're stabbing yourself with a needle rather than a knife. Eventually, you're going to kill yourself with it. It may not be a instant death, but it's just a slow, painful one. Good on the first. Chance to extend the lead to 17. And does. 88-71. All the scoring coming in the second half for Malmquist. 2 in the first quarter, 2 in the first half, and 12 in the second. Delgado stepping into the shot and making it perhaps happy to have a shot taken by Will. And that's the amazing thing, is that the Stars and Elites are not that different in terms of baskets made. And we'll see Kusic, nice turnaround jumper there, puts it in. I think the difference is Go ahead.
No, I was going to say Delgado. I think taking that shot, thought he was behind the three, and was a little surprised to see only get 2 points there.
Well, I'm sure Delgado wishes he'd made a three so far. And we're actually going to the line for two. That's another way you can get back in the game, is if they can pressure the post and get some fouls going. I want to look at the end of the game and see what the free throw differential was, but I'm pretty sure the Elites have led the Stars in regards to how many times they've gone to the free throw line and how many points they've made from the free throw line.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that differential affected the overall lead the Elites will have.
Are you predicting a comeback? Is that what I'm hearing?
No. I think the Stars are going to try, but they're not going to be able to close the gap here. I was just saying it'll be interesting to see if you subtract those the differential and free throw points.
No, I get what you're saying. I was trying to see if you're going to do a caster's curse on the Elites. Passing around Kusik, no good, but Kealoha gets the offensive rebound and the putback. And actually, there's the stat right there. The Elites actually only have 8 more free throws, which would put them at 84. So that's a 10-point difference still. I think it's really been that the Elites have been making some threes. Again, deciding who's taking this shot. Tavares decides to step in and drive to the basket rather than sticking to the three-point line. Higher percentage shot doing that, but still unsuccessful. Fast play is good. Up by 20 now, largest lead. At this point, it just seems like the Elites are trying to show off. Rose, 1 assist shy of a triple-double. Not something we commonly see in the FBA sports dens, let alone a rookie showcase.
Right.
And especially since he's playing power forward, it's almost like he's playing point guard right now. Rose with the ball, top of the key, passing down to Kealoha. Kealoha over to Ngoy. Loose the ball, stripped by BK. Showing off his defensive skills as the big dog. Quick pass to Delgado. Delgado gets the bucket to fall on the fast break. There we go, another basket. I think that's an assist for the big dog. Off the steal. And now Kealoha driving into the basket. No good. Delgado with the ball again. Penichkol deep in the post. Not sure if they're going to decide to really turn up the tempo or just stay slow. Delgado's just going to hold on to it and pass it to Thompson, pass it to Tavares, back to Delgado. It looked like it was on track to go, but a little short. Fatigue maybe starting to set in for Delgado after launching so many threes tonight.
I wouldn't doubt it.
As for the Elites, they're just going to wear down the clock, it seems. No reason to showboat with a lead like this. Ngoy going for 3, no good.
Well, I think in a game like this, actually, I disagree. This is the time to showboat. This is where you show off.
To an extent. I mean, I think it is a... showing off has its risks. You're more likely to make errors. You can definitely stand out if you feel like you need to move your draft stock up, but a player showing off here could be a downfall in terms of their stock. No good on the 3 at the last second. And also some GMs want to see a player follow what the coach says. Quick shot from Delgado not working. As I was saying, a coach in the final couple minutes wants a player to follow the game plan, not go rogue.
Right.
Ngoy. Passing to Kealoha. Kealoha has been getting a lot of buckets down here in this second half, sorry. Not outscoring his opponent, but out rebounding with 14, 2 points shy of a double-double. Back into the passing circle of death. Between the two corners, and Tavares is the one who takes the three. The one sacrificed this time. Every player at least gets to touch the ball, and they have limited turnovers in terms of passing, so their passing is good. I need to see them dribble a bit more. You know, 3 seconds left. Yeah. Bad pass out of bounds by Rose, but honestly, 20-point deficit is not.
They can afford to do some passing.
Yeah.
Run that clock down.
Elites are definitely in no rush, and now we're actually going to see substitutions for both teams, bringing out their bench players to end this game.
Give each player one last chance to prove their mettle, as it were.
Triano no good. Also a chance to get them. Some of these players will be starting the next game, so one last chance to get a little warmed up before the second game starts, which will be starting within an hour after this game. Give players a little time to ice down and get changed over to their new jerseys if they switch teams. Blevins, Sievert, O'Hare, Tavares. No good. 3 seconds left.
You know, I think the Stars can really pull back here. Come back.
Yeah, yeah. Unless a meteor hits the scoreboard, I think it is decided. It's 96 elites, 76 stars. We will look over their total scores, but then we'll also, I guess, do a little breakdown after where we think the team went wrong and where the elites went right. But first, let's talk about the player of the game. Between the guy who almost got a triple-double, and I believe it'd be Kusek or Malmkvist, I think Rose is the one who deserves it most. Let's see if the stats agree with me. And it looks like no, it's going to go to Kasper Kusek. 18 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. A little surprising, but I think it may have been because of the turnovers from Rose, especially that one at the end where he just threw it out of bounds with less than 2 minutes left. Going over the stars to start with, Tavares 2 for 7, 5 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Delgado 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. However, 4 for 21, 0 for 11 from 3-point land. So let's just go ahead and pretend he didn't shoot a 3-pointer. He shot 4 for 10 from elsewhere. So that's not bad, 4 for 10. He just needs to not shoot threes, or not be given the ball.
Or be forced into
shooting threes.
Shooting threes.
So I'll give him a pass on that. Panchkol, very smart when he took shots. 11 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Would have won 2 steals. Wish he had been more proactive at times. BK, 1 for 3, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Doing it off the, not a big scorer, but a big team player in that regard. Thompson, 8 points, 3 for 11. Not much better than Delgado. Varnege, 9 points, 3 rebounds. Aquino, 5 for 15, also not a very big help for the team. 11 points, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 for 6 from 3-point land. Triano, 2 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Kibor, 1 steal and 0 for 2 from the field. Reyes, 4 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 for 2, perfect from the floor. Blessing, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, perfect from the floor as well. And Herod, 8 points, 2 rebounds, 4 for 5, only missed a 3. Hopping over to the elites. Kealoha, 14 rebounds, 8 points, but 5 fouls, almost fouled out there. Rose, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. However, 4 turnovers cost him. He was perfect from the free throw line. Kusik, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 8 for 18. Not the best shooting outing, especially because he was 0 for 6 from 3-point land. Nagoy, 5 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. A lot of assists coming out from this team tonight. Malkovist, 14 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. Sievert, 6 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. Elsinore, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. O'Hara, 0 for 1, 1 point, 1 assist, or 1 rebound, 1 assist, no points. Gold, 2 for 5, 5 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Delmont, 13 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 4 for 9, 6 of them being from 3-point land, only making 2. Blevins, 2 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 50% from the field. And Orshot, 2 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. And again, 50% from the field.
Looking at Delmont, he's like one of the tallest players in the bench for both teams. So it's not surprising that he was able to put up that many points.
Yeah, and just looking at these quarter breakdowns real fast, the Elites really struggled in the second quarter field goal percentage, 33%. First half definitely went to the Stars. However, in the third quarter, the Stars fell apart, 26% field goal percentage, 71 for the other, and then 22% in the fourth quarter. Not really able to get the game going for the second half. I would definitely say problems for the Stars. We saw 3 players taking the bulk of the shots, whether by choice or not. That should not have happened, especially since it's not like they didn't pass the ball. I proved that they passed the ball. I counted for them.
Pretty sure they passed the ball.
Every player had a chance to almost twice a possession to shoot, and they chose to pass. So that's not something you can blame on the 3 players that took a lot of shots. I think it's a shared blame that they were the only ones willing to take the shot compared to everyone else.
No, I definitely agree with you there. And as we said earlier, there was not a leadership going on in the Stars tonight.
Yeah, there was no one player that seemed to really be directing well. It seemed the bench for a while was outscoring the starters, but that fell apart too when Aquino and everyone else started to miss. That's kind of what happened. Was first half they were perfect, and then second half they come in and they play normal, and then they can't make up the difference. And then the Elites, not to take anything away from the Elites, that's for sure, they came out in that second half all guns blazing, got a lot of points from the post and even from the 3-point land with Delmont shooting. So,
well, you know what happened is I commented on how well the Stars bench was doing.
yes,
And then they stopped doing
yes.
well. So.
All GMs, please consider hiring Waylon as commentators for for your opponent's games, so that he can sabotage your opponent for you. I'm sure he will gladly accept any form of payment.
Happy to take bribes. I mean, encouragement from from any team.
So I guess before we wrap up, these players are going to head off and cool down. Anyone tonight that you think improved their draft stock, and is there anyone tonight that you think hurt their draft stock? And you can pick one from both teams or just one player per period.
Well, I definitely think that Kealoha, with all his fouling, definitely is going to give the GMs pause for consideration. That's not something that you want to see in a very promising player. I know that's going to definitely turn some heads, and maybe, depending on how he plays in the second game here, will affect how they consider him in the draft. The flip side of that being that he is one of the only top 24 who can play in the center position. So it's kind of interesting to see how those two things are going to weigh each other in the draft selection process.
And was there anyone that you thought that really helped their draft stock?
I think I'm gonna jump the fence here, and I did say Kusick was kind of my choice for the elites, but you've won me over with Rose. He definitely uh, was, had a finger in every pot in this game, but in a good way. He contributed both to offense and defense in a very um, tangible way that some of the other players, especially on the Stars, but also on his team, really were a little more reluctant to follow through with.
So the number one rated player became the super number one rated player. Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it solidified um, his place as the top player here in this draft class, just because no, everything looks great on paper, but until you see these players out in the court, there's really no telling what they're going to do.
Right, and we haven't seen Delmont and Gold play as a starter yet, but I think 1 and 2, Rose and Kusick, have very little to worry about going into the next game. I think both of them have secured their 1-2 spot. It will take a um, epic game on either of their parts to really move up. In terms of who hurt their stock the most, I hate to say Delgado because in terms of pure stat sheet, he looks the worst. I think GMs will look at him, look at the game film, and realize that that's not him in a normal situation.
Right.
So I think he definitely had his draft stock injured, but not completely taken down. I would say,
Well, it depends on how critical the teams are at looking at this early footage of these players.
right,
Again, it goes back to what's on paper versus the reality of the situation.
right. And I'm going to say, actually, for who helped, I'm going to go the opposite. I am going to say Kealua actually helped his draft stock. He was rated fairly low at 20, and yes, he had a very high fouling game this time, but they're going to look back at his record for college and compare how he fouled in college to how he fouled tonight, because there are games where players will tread the line of 5 fouls. But what impressed me was his rebounding. He had 14. He led both teams, and he had good presence in the post in the second half. I think at 20, he played more like, if you exclude the fouls, he played more like a top 10 player.
Well, he may move up the ranks based on how he played in this game and how he plays in the next game.
And how others play. I mean, if everyone above him, is there anyone you'd like to comment on for next game to like go ahead and take him out of the picture? Curse him.
I'm not getting paid enough for that.
Okay.
I'm not getting a kickback from any one of these 24 players, so I'll
You didn't say anything about their parents, though. Anyways, all the players have left the court now, gone to the back. They will change out and cool off and recuperate going into this second game. Thank you for joining me, Waylon. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, it's been great to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. We're going to kick it back to the main studio and some commercial breaks. Please tune back in, for we still have one more exciting game to come tonight in the FBA.
Good night, everyone.
But come back.